to prepare for getting started with my drawing. The original done by Seurat was actually 12 5/8 by 9 1/4. So this reproduction here is smaller than that. And our reproduction size I'm going to do today is a 7 by 5. I like to prepare my area by taping it off with masking tape. It can be regular masking tape or it can be this blue painter's tape. Whatever you have is fine. And I'm just measuring out my 5" and then I'm going to measure out my 7" dimension. Charcoal is really messy. So I like to tape off my edges so that when I'm done, I can pull this up and I have a really clean margin. This is especially nice if you want to frame your work. So it's just an option for you to do if you'd like to go ahead and get that measured off. I'm going to measure down about 1.5 inches from the top. I'm going to do it in 2 places. Just to go ahead, I'm having trouble seeing the edge of the page from here. I'll do it from the bottom. Sorry, having to do everything for a camera is a little bit challenging. You notice I've masked off my blue area here to keep me within the camera frame. So let me just mark off. I'm just going to go up about 1.5 inches. I don't need to line that. I can line it with the tape. And then I'm going to go up 7 more inches. And I'm just establishing my picture plane here is what I'm doing. So let's go up 7 inches. And I'm going to do it in 2 spots just so I make sure it's straight. Okay. My last piece of tape. Okay, there we go. So here's my 7 by 5. I've got my printout with me here. I also have my computer in front of me, and actually I like the resolution on the screen on my computer better than I like the resolution here. But I'm going to use both of them as I'm going through. Now, to get started, I'm going to have to change the scale on this. So I'm going to do it proportionately. And I just kind of want to figure out what my proportions are. So I am going to measure what the actual, this is 6 1/4. So halfway up is about 3 1/8. I'll measure that here. And let's see, 3 1/8 here. I'm going to get my meridians, top, bottom, left, right. I'm going to divide this into quadrants, 8 1/4. So I want 4 1/8 here. Whenever we go to draw anything, and you know, most of the time artists are drawing in real time, real life, right? And they're looking at the piece, but they're still looking at it and they're deciding, well, how does it divide up? How am I going to frame this? What's going to fall top, bottom, left, right? Am I going to fill the entire page? Am I going to have positive and negative space? They're asking themselves all these questions, right? Now, since we're doing a copy today, basically I've had my picture framed for me. Seurat framed it up for us, and he made some decisions here. And let's take a look at some of the decisions he made. So if we go down the middle here, I'm going to just go ahead and draw this line just so you can get an idea of what's going on here. And we can look at these different quadrants and see what decisions he was making when he was looking at this. And we can see that this man here, he falls just about in the middle. This is going to help us when we go to reproduce this, especially when we're scaling down, because we can find the middle of our page and we can go ahead and reproduce this. We see the man with the big head, his face starts just above this meridian line. It goes up, comes out a little over 1/3 of the way in. This is about 1/4 of the way in, a little bit more. So see how we can knock out these big shapes here. See where they lie within our picture plane, and that's going to help us. This man, he comes around here, so we're going to keep an eye on this line here. Okay, his shoulders coming across here, his shoulders coming down here, and we have our figure in the middle here. There's her arms. It's kind of a fuzzy figure here, but let's see where she falls. Like I said, I have better resolution on my computer than I have here. There's her hat. Everybody's wearing hats. Must be the 1800s. So she falls to just the left. Let's talk about how this is working. So her off to the left pulls weight over here to balance the big head over here. Darkest shape here, darkest shape here, dark here, dark here. See how they're taking this positive space, the darkest darks, we're balancing it with the negative space, and then we're putting the lightest lights, her, near the center of the picture frame, a little bit off center, like I said, to go ahead and balance him. So now that we have kind of an idea where all of our figures are going to fall within this picture plane, now we're ready to go ahead and start making our drawing.